Here's chapter 4 of Catastrophe, entitled Find Snowy. The pasta was piled on the plates and it looked and smelled delicious, and they immediately tucked in. I bet Snowy would like some of this, said Kate, and she turned round to Snowy's favourite place, where she usually sat, on a small cushion with a bowl in front of her. The bowl was full and Snowy wasn't there. Oh my God, said Kate, where is Snowy? The sound of knives and forks hitting the table rang out, and everyone looked under the table, then around the kitchen and the living room. Sorry, Snowy, Kate cried out, but there was no response, not even a little squeak. Where can she be? Said Kate as she ran upstairs and checked every room and every cupboard and closet, but she was nowhere to be found. Where are you, Snowy? Kate thought, and panic rose in her chest. It was so unlike her to go away, she thought. What no one knew was that Snowy was becoming restless, and she loved the outdoors and she missed the fresh air. I'll just nip out for a few minutes, Snowy had thought to herself. No one will mind, she thought. But people did mind. They were worried. Kate began to panic. She'd even looked inside the washing machine. Now it was time to look outside. As soon as Snowy stepped outside, she noticed that it had grown a lot colder, and there was a thin layer of frost on the ground. She looked up at the dark sky, and the moon shone like a newly minted coin. Snowy's breath made little puffs in the air, and back inside the house, everyone began to shout Snowy's name. They looked under the table, behind the sofa, behind the heavy curtains, and in every room, but Snowy was nowhere to be seen. She disappeared as if by magic. Like a little stream queen, she thought. She looked through the gate, and there was no one about. It was so quiet and peaceful. Just a few more minutes, Snowy said to herself, and then I'll go back inside. Then a man appeared at the gate. Hello, Kitty, he said. What a beautiful cat you are, he added, smiling. Snowy wasn't sure if she wanted to be stroked by a stranger. There she felt sorry for him, and she caved in. Just one stroke won't do any harm, she thought. When she got closer to the man, she could tell he smelled funny, like licorice. He brushed her once, but he wasn't gentle like Kate, and then he grabbed her by the scruff of the neck and stuffed her into his smelly carrier bag. It was at this moment that Kate burst outside with her friends, and Snowy heard her name being called, and as she was being carried away unnoticed, and she was placed in a car and driven away at speed. Snowy was frightened, and tears filled her big green eyes and fell onto her lovely white coat. Why, oh, why did I leave Kate, she thought, as she was placed in the back of the car and driven away. Coming up next, chapter 24, Captured.